compulsory.
Education is compulsory, but how you go about getting your education is not compulsory. You can do it home educated, you can go to school, you can do it online. There are plenty of ways to get education links.
Point of information?
Yes.
There are plenty of ways to take leave and help around the house.
So you are agreeing with me. You can take leave, you can help around the house in plenty of other ways. Nobody says that it has to be this way. But we are saying we are offering it as an option, ladies and gentlemen. So basically they are debating on one word in the motion. They have completely forgotten about everything else. They're just debating on the word offered. We are debating on the fact that maternity leave should be given to both parents, because right now in this world it is mostly given to only the mother. We are trying to say that it should be given to the father because it is a logical thing to do. For them to say that it's okay, that it's compulsory, it's just robbing our point. So technically we have a 6-member government agreeing with us that the motion is correct. So ladies and gentlemen, now let me continue on to the more stable part of this debate, which is what the government is supposed to be doing as opposed to what the opposition is doing right now, okay? Now, my point today is, I will be speaking on how maternity leave for both parents will strengthen the family unit and how it will not affect the economy. A study done by www.telegraph.co.uk shows that 37% of all divorces in this world have been traced down to stress and fragile relationships that are caused by the presence of a newborn child. It is well known that stress causes people to be more short-tempered, and therefore making this delicate time of when they have a newborn in the house more tense than it has to be. All this could possibly lead up to a divorce. Which is why, ladies and gentlemen, our proposition is what holds true. If a father does not have the burden of work on his mind, he will be less stressed. He will also have more time to help out around the house. This will also reduce the mother's workload and she will be less stressed. This could all help to prevent the couple's relationship from suffering. And Dr. James Dobson from the show Focus on the Family said, and I quote, "A child is capable of forming an unbreakable bond between parents," unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, such a bond can only be formed if both the parents are equally involved in the upbringing of the child, especially during postnatal care. If the father is given paternity leave, he will be more involved in the care of the child.
On that point, ma'am?
Yes?
Well, we agree with these facts, but you're not addressing our stand at all.
I have just addressed your stand, saying that it cannot stand simply because you're shoving leave down people's throats. Okay, continuing. Members of Parliament, according to the New England Medical Journal, fathers, due to their absence in the first few months of their child's life, often feel isolated from the child. This isolation is said to continue on well into the child's adulthood, and this causes the parent and child to have a very brittle relationship. Whereas fathers who have spent time with the infant, especially in its neonatal period, are said to form a psychological bond with the child that is very strong. And ladies and gentlemen, said bond will take a long time to form. Which is why we, the government, say that a few weeks of emergency leave or a flexible working hours just will not cut it. In this very delicate period of when the baby's psyche starts to form mental emotions, the father's presence has to be constant. That is why the government is suggesting that maternity leave be offered to both parents. Yes.
Yes, flexible time of work is not enough. Maternity leave is enough. And offering it to them to choose not even to take it, that is worse. You must make it compulsory for them, like education, because it is so beneficial.
Have you not been listening to me? I am saying that flexible working schedule is not enough. But what I am saying is that you cannot force a person to do anything. All you can do is provide options. Now, to my second point, how giving maternity leave will not affect the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposition, well, I know they're not going to say this, but they could say that it will affect the economy. But here's the thing. Not many people are going to have a child at exactly the same time. Possibly maybe 1% of a company will have babies at the same time. This can't do much bad for the economy. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, in a country like Iceland, both parents are offered 6 months or more of maternity leave when a child is born. In order to compensate for smaller companies, an employment insurance fund is set up to allow the companies to hire temporary replacements without having to spend extra so that its productivity isn't affected. This is mainly a suggestion which can be implemented if smaller companies worry that their productivity will be affected. The same way we all adjusted to maternity leave for mothers, we can adjust to maternity leave for fathers. The proposition has more pros than cons, therefore the most logical thing to do would be to implement it. Before I take my seat, I would like to reiterate our team's stand, which is, this House believes that maternity leave should be offered to both parents because the father, in addition to the mother, should be allowed to play a greater role in the first few months of his child's life. Thank you.
My hand 变full啊。
I thank the second speaker of the government. She spoke for 6 minutes and 53 seconds. To continue the case of the opposition, may I now request the second speaker of the opposition, Mr. Joshua Tay, to deliver his speech.
Hi everyone, my name is Joshua and I will be representing the opposition as the second speaker. Firstly, we agree with their points on understand that maternity leave is so good. It is because it is that good. For 8 minutes and 39 seconds, Angeline spoke on how maternity leave is good. You know, recovery is accelerated. They need energy to take care of the child. That is why we are providing this compulsory, mandatory maternity leave for both parents. It's because it is that good. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on. Their second speaker, Kalkina, she said, nothing is compulsory. Nothing is compulsory. Yes. I disagree with that point because school is compulsory. Primary school is compulsory for all students. How can we say, okay, we have many ways for education, so why not? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is good because it is compulsory. And we move on, ladies and gentlemen, because there has been debate on English as a medium for science and math. It is being made compulsory for students. Nothing is compulsory. I dare them to rebut that. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on. National service. There are many ways to serve this country. Agreed. There are many ways, just like there are many ways to take up education. Yet again, those people who are selected for national service are required. It is mandatory for them to go for national service camps. And moving on, ladies and gentlemen, by giving them an offering them
information, please.
Later, please. By offering them maternity leave, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually giving them an option to choose between work, pleasure, and family. How can you guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, that a man will spend
information, please.
Later, please. How can you guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, that a man will spend each and every waking moment of his maternity leave at home with the child? True, but ladies and gentlemen, when we make it mandatory, we are actually eradicating one option. We are removing the option of work, so they choose between pleasure or family. So ladies and gentlemen, this gives them a very good opportunity to spend time with their family. Moving on to my speech, ladies and gentlemen, I will be mainly focusing on the specific gains of mandatory maternity leave. I will not be proposing a question of probability, but a question of reality. Let us first look at the parent-child relationship. But before that, I need to add that some of our points may overlap because maternity leave is that good. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, we want to make it compulsory for all parents so that the parent and the child can gain this benefit. Let me introduce to you the SUID or the SIDS terms. These are also known as the sudden unexplained infant death or the sudden infant death syndrome. What is it? As Jason has said earlier, have you ever heard of a mother leaving a baby just for a few minutes in the bathtub with shallow water and then suddenly taking the phone for a few minutes and then realizing that the baby has drowned? Or have you ever heard of incidents when babies fell off chairs or babies falling down the stairs? That is what SIDS is. That is what SUID is.